In this presentation, my fellow classmates and I will be educating you on diabetes.
There are four main biological macromolecules: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. Each of these macromolecules are made of monomers that make up polymers. A monomer is a small molecule that can form covalent bonds with similar molecules to form a polymer. A polymer is a large molecule made up of a chain of many similar monomers chemically bonded to each other. These biological macromolecules are essential to the growth and survival of living things.
For carbohydrates, their monomers is monosaccharides. Examples are glucose, fructose, and polymers is polysaccharides, which examples are starch, cellulose. The function of carbohydrates is to provide short-term energy. Examples of carbohydrates in food are bread and pasta. Carbohydrates' main elements include carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Lipids have no true monomer or polymer. Lipids function is to provide long-term energy storage, unlike carbohydrates, which only provide short-term energy. Examples of lipids are the fatty parts in meats and the fat in cheese. The main elements of lipids are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and phosphorus. Proteins' monomers is amino acids. Examples of those are proline and glycerine. And the polymer is polypeptide. Examples of polypeptides are enzymes and muscle fibers. The function of proteins is to structure and support for cells, and they also speed up chemical reactions. Examples of these proteins are meat, eggs, and beans. Proteins' main elements include carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. Nucleic acids, monomers, nucleotides, and polymers, nucleic acids. The function of nucleic acids is to store and transmit genetic information. Examples of nucleic acids is DNA and RNA. The main elements found in nucleic acids are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. For nutrition, you'll need carbohydrates, lipids, and nucleic acids, but you don't necessarily need proteins.
A healthy diet would include milk, fruit, some vegetables as a side for eggs, and bread. A healthy lunch would include a fruit or yogurt, maybe even a smoothie, a small sandwich with an even smaller salad. A really nice dinner would include spaghetti, low-fat Parmesan cheese, meatballs, side of fruit or yogurt, and a salad.
Exercising is very important in maintaining a healthy lifestyle. It helps lower your blood glucose, blood pressure, HDL, cholesterol, and triglycerides. Triglycerides are fatty acids that are found in your blood. It lowers your risk for prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Exercising relieves stress. It strengthens your heart, muscles, and bones. It improves your blood circulation and tones your muscles. And lastly, exercising keeps your body and your joints flexible.
Malnutrition is a big problem around the world. According to the Independent Nurse in 2012, 2.9 million people were diagnosed with diabetes only in the United Kingdom due to the shortage or overload of nutrition. Diabetes happens when you have a great intake of sugar or when you don't have enough sugar in your blood. With too much or not enough sugar in your blood, you will not be able to be healthy. Think of it like this way. When you don't get enough of each nutrient, you're abusing your body. When you give it too much fats from foods, you'll become obese.
Here are the basics of diabetes. When you are diagnosed with diabetes, that's when your pancreas doesn't provide enough insulin. People with diabetes usually are overweight or don't exercise. Diabetes is also sometimes passed down from your family by genetics.
Diabetes happens when your body doesn't use or produce a hormone called insulin. Insulin is a hormone that regulates the level of sugar in your blood. This is produced by the pancreas, which, if it doesn't make enough or if it makes too much insulin, you won't have energy because the excess energy isn't going to the needed cells and the energy you don't have isn't going to the needed cells as well, which can cause fatigue.
Effects of diabetes on an organism level. Due to diabetes, your body will have low levels of insulin. Then in response, your body will make other hormones to make fat into energy. Those other hormones can be dangerous. Examples of this is ketone bodies and acid, which are extremely dangerous in high levels. These hormones can cause loss of consciousness or even death. This also can cause a complication called diabetic ketoacidosis. Diabetes can also cause damage to your kidney, brain, skin, heart, digestive system, and even your nervous system.
Here's a chart with the countries that are affected with diabetes the most. USA has the most people in the world diagnosed with diabetes. About 29 million people in the United States have some kind of form of diabetes other than prediabetes, which is about 9.3% of the United States population. In other words, diabetes affects 1 in 11 people in the United States, and 1 in 4 people actually know they have it. 86 million adults have prediabetes. It is more likely to affect non-Hispanic blacks, Hispanics, American Indians, Alaska Natives than a non-Hispanic white. Diabetes is more common in the United States than any other country in the world. It's because of the high rate of child and adult obesity.
One of the types of diabetes is type 1 diabetes, also called juvenile diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is when your body basically attacks itself. This is called an autoimmune reaction. There is no cure to type 1 diabetes, and the main treatment is to take insulin every day, and without it, you cannot live. This also means that the healthcare costs are skyrocketing for the amount of insulin people need with type 1 diabetes. Luckily, type 1 diabetes isn't as prevalent as the other types of diabetes. There's only about 1.25 million Americans with type 1 diabetes and only 400,000 people getting diagnosed per year.
Type 2 diabetes is when your body produces none or too little insulin. You could get rid of diabetes through daily exercise and a balanced and healthy diet.
Gestational diabetes is a form of diabetes that affects pregnant women, and after birth, women are most likely to develop type 2 diabetes. The child will most likely become obese and also form type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes all happen when your blood sugar is high, but not high enough to classify as type 2 diabetes.
The cost of healthcare is higher for people with diabetes. The estimated lifetime cost for healthcare is $283,000 for just one member in a family. The prices raises in other countries due to the high cost of healthcare for diabetic people. Diabetes hits the low/middle income class the hardest. Diabetes also increases the possibility of amputation in low-income countries like Africa and India due to the nerve damage diabetes can cause. According to the CDC, at least 65,700 people get amputations per year due to diabetes.
Diabetes lowers the chances of employment of a person compared to a person who doesn't have it. This means lower employment rate. Diabetes increases medical costs, increase of people being absent from work or school, and reduces the number of labor workers. Diabetes also causes many people to be absent from the work, which in effect will make companies lose money throughout the years.
Those were the effects of diabetes on a global level.
Thanks for watching. If you didn't understand something, the cool thing about YouTube is that you could rewind. Thanks.